Joanna, we are thrilled to have you join us today, and I know a lot of our viewers have questions about artificial intelligence, and we're going to dive into some of those topics in a moment. But first, you are a very faithful follower of Jesus, who is very much in love with the Bible and the God of the universe. Tell us how you came to follow Jesus and when that all started to happen for you.
Okay, I accepted Christ first year in university. I started going to church in the end of high school. Not that I was interested in Jesus, but I needed a community as a teenager. Yeah. And I didn't know I was not a Christian because I was seeking the community, not Christ. And one particular meeting, when everybody share about their week with Christ, when it came to me, I was the only one that did not share anything in the event. Then I felt caught red-handed, that I realized I didn't know the Christ that they talked about. So I have a decision to make. I either ditch that group, never go back because now that I'm exposed, or I ask God. So in a very strange way, that was the very first prayer. I cry out to God that if you were real, reveal yourself to me in a way that I could not deny it was you. And that was the first prayer to the God who spoke the universe into being. And even just thinking back now, it thrills me. So then I went to university. I aspired to be a psychologist, but because I was already a new Christian at the time, when it's time to declare major, second year on, I just fill in the form, psychologist, no-brainer. But then with unexplainable disturb of peace, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. And there was no other explanation. There was no one stopping me, not even my parent. I knew enough as a new Christian that it was from the Lord. So I was really mad. I was like, I have no plan B. So I was kicking and screaming, and I asked him, what do you want me to do? Silence. And then I realized that he wanted total surrender. So I told him that I was willing to surrender my entire career to you, but how do I finish filling up the form? Because I literally didn't know what else to put in. And then the Lord opened up my eyes, the Holy Spirit opened up my eyes, and he said that, well, you know those optional courses, the computer science course, you just whip through the assignment, rip through the quiz, you got very high mark. Did you not know that the other classmate of yours struggling and still not doing as well? And I go, oh, never thought about that, because I was just trying to get rid of all the irrelevant to my major and focus on my psychology. And that was the first time the Lord opened my eyes up to let me see how he wired me. Then when I filled in the major as computer science, there was this supernatural peace from head to toe that was really supernatural. So that was how I got into the field. And then once I graduate, I literally would take any job that hired me because I was so in need of money. But then it's the technology company that hired me. And at the time, there was this project of compiler that need some not so expensive headcount, and I was a new hire, I wasn't expensive. So I got into this very complex project, working with very industry acclaimed seniors, and I didn't know that it was a challenge. All I focused on was survive probation, but that gave me a very solid grounding on system design, architecture, and dive deep into computer science foundation that have me landed on a very good soil to grow as a technologist and inventor.
Oh, Joanna, it's amazing. You know, you said early in your faith walk, you asked God to reveal himself to you. Was there a decisive moment when he did, or was that in your daily experience in university?
It's in the daily experience. Yeah. So I grew up in a very sheltered environment from junior kindergarten all the way to high school. It was like in a girls' school. So when I was parachuted to the dorm, it was cultural shock. And he was my only one I could go to. And the instant ask of him and the coincidental provision that even if you calculate the probability, it couldn't be explained. And it's not one thing, it's one thing after another, from big and small, from finding my way to registering classes to, how to finish the assignment. Like, it was just too many that probabilistically it's impossible that the help would be so timely and so many. And then it got to a point that I realized that, I was just using him for my benefit. I haven't given him my life. So at the end of first year, when there was a big Christian conference, the Holy Spirit said, it's time. So I gave myself to him, realizing that, what he's done, how undeserving I was, and that I said, you have my life now. And that was the biggest decision I ever made that totally changed the trajectory of my life.
It's really interesting because you applied even scientific sort of deduction and reasoning to your faith. You said all these things can't be happening unless there is a God of the universe walking with me. And I love how your experience of meeting Jesus and choosing to follow him, it's less of a road to Damascus experience and it's more of a daily discipleship walk. Like Matthew the disciple, and you're slowly, and then you see what God can do. And he calls you into this field of technology and you end up coming out of university with that degree and working, as you said, in an organization, and then eventually you're at IBM and you become, you receive this title of Master Inventor, which is incredible because you actually then end up determining the path and trajectory of the innovation at IBM.
Yes.
So what were some of the topics that you started to spearhead and work on?
So my first set of patents was in the early days of internet to buy and sell. So a lot of the patents has to do with mobile commerce, in doing transaction in SMS messages. So that was the first set. Then after mobile commerce, and I have done a lot of work through cybersecurity, Internet of Things. And then I think the last set of patents were on AI. The most notable one, which is yet to be implemented, was to integrate different intelligence into a semantic thinking. So for example, like if you hear the sound of an alarm and visually you see smoke, and then if the device is also the carbon monoxide device also send you a signal, then you integrate it and say run out of the house. So that kind of intelligence model integration into triggering the semantic relevant action was the last set of patents that I've done.
Can you talk to us about defining AI in our lives day to day? What does it look like? Because it's already in use in many places.
Yes. So there are three category of AI. One is called symbolic AI, which is representing accurate model and symbol of the physical world. And those are very expensive to do. So you don't see a lot of that. Then what we see the most is statistical AI, which is normal distribution of things, neural networks. The statistical model is what we see manifest in ChatGPT with large language model. And then the third type of AI is subsymbolic model, which is given a set of data, you observe a set of patterns, right? And so artificial intelligence basically is there's a term called the ground truth, which is to derive the analysis and the insight from the data that are not obvious to human. The definition then is artificial intelligence is the computing capability to do things that human usually do with higher form of cognition, such as perceiving, talking and communicating, calculating, and reasoning. However, what you notice is that in those verbs, there is no empathizing, there's no discerning, because it's hard to digitize that kind of things that require a deeper inner being of man.
And I think that speaks to where you feel called right now, something that you've described as your Esther moment. You're no longer with IBM, and you've started a new innovation company focused on technologies and AI. You're also mentoring young people, Gen Z, with a Kingdom of Earth organization that you've started. It's incredible. So young people in the technology realm. What are you hopeful about in doing the work you're doing today as you face the reality that AI can be very unsafe if there's no guardrails on it?
Right. The Esther moment is for the years of experience and for whatever is so-called accomplishment is to position me to do three things. To call out the deception, the lies that stand against the mind of Christ. So that's number one. Number two is to guard his truth. His truth of how man was created in his image, that man is a spirit in the body that has a soul, and the soul includes the mind, the will, and the emotion. And guarding that is very, very critical because there is a trend of AI with a presumption that man's brain is equivalent to a computer, and therefore you have all this agenda, but you have to demean the sanity of man to think that way, and that's the guarding of the truth. And then, the third part is to build something as an alternative. Anywhere there is darkness, and the verse that the Holy Spirit gave me is Isaiah 60, verse 2. Thick darkness is over the people, which is a general description of the digital realm today, where the digital realm today, the currency is attention. And it gives the physical world the currency that make the big tech so rich. But yet there is a spiritual realm consequence that by making this big tech exploit people's attention, it's in the spiritual realm, the thief kill, steal, and destroy our identity and purpose. So my hope in the project that I'm working on, instead of pursuing artificial superintelligence, which really demean the holiness in us that man is created in God's image, that I wanted to change the currency of the digital realm, that instead of stealing or exploiting people's attention for money, I want the digital. I want to create a digital reality that it can add value to men and to leverage the technology of AI to create an augmented cognition so that man can be a better person by leveraging what AI is good at and using AI as a tool to make ourselves a better person. So my big cup of tea today is personal AI web for a better you as a slogan for cognitive augmented cognition.
So just quickly for our viewers, what does a positive and a negative use of AI look like? And even consider artificial superintelligence. So what is the positive use of it for a human being, and what's a negative use of those
Okay, so
tools?
I'll speak with the negative. If you give control over to AI, instead of using it as a tool under your control, then many negative things can happen. So there's driverless car, and the industry in insurance was talking about who's in charge, and the maker of the car tend to say, well, it's the self-driverless car that was in charge. And I say, that's very lame because someone, a human being, designed it. That person should be in charge. If we sell ourselves short as men, then we become our worst enemy to let computer tell us what to do because we get lazy and we abdicate. However, there's a lot of opportunity to do good using AI, from climate change to personal health care. So I remember, there was one project that I was involved in that it's very unforgettable, which is to use the AI model to study your genotype and correlate the cancer drug that you have, so that instead of just giving you a cancer drug because you have breast cancer without further insight, it would try to find the correlation between your genotype and the type of cancer drug that would more statistically effective for your genotype, and that correlation in the AI model could save life. But there's a lot more to be done. But the limit of AI is that correlation doesn't explain anything. It doesn't explain the causation. So still, a lot of the medical research still rely on human to figure out that causation, while AI would give us that correlation.
Joanna, you've written, this is 2 of your books, but Being Christian 2.0, Debugging Discipleship, and a lot of your framework here and your ideas you want to share with other people in technology, you want to share with the world. You are seeking to disciple those around you to understand these realities with AI, how we can use technology for God's glory. And I'm really thankful that you are putting your heart and your energy and your experience into this critical topic that is so important for the world today. Joanna, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, my honor.